let's get down to it.
Discuss.
Yeah. Are zoos good or bad? And obviously we've read the same article, so you can make the case for both, right?
The good. Let's talk about some pros on the zoo side. Zoos have gotten a lot better in the last 4,000 years, and a whole lot better in the last, 30 years, from what I've seen.
Sure.
So they used to go out and procure animals, like they just go out to the plains and get some giraffes and bring them home.
Right.
They don't do that much anymore, although I do have some examples we'll get to later where they still actually do that.
Okay. Yeah, now they have captive breeding programs.
Yes.
Where a lot of animals are born in a zoo. They never knew the wild, which you would make the argument that that's a lot better than having memory of,
sure.
Oh, I used to live in a 5,000 square mile range, and now I live in a 500 square feet area.
True. And they also, Josh, are trying to help restore endangered species with breeding programs and releasing them back into the wild. So that's some good, right?
That is good, yeah. I mean, and the California condor, right? That's one that's usually held up as an example. Not too long ago, the California condor was on the verge of extinction, and the San Diego and Los Angeles zoos got together and said, let's bring this vulture back. Let's get this vulture back up and running, okay?
And flying.
So they had and they had a captive breeding program, and they took the population, the global population of the California condor, which was just relegated to California, from less than 24 birds to 170.
Yeah.
Now it's self-sufficient. Even better, Chuck, is the Pear David's deer, right?
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
It is a deer from China, and this deer had it been bred in captivity or was extinct, and then they reintroduced it to the wild once they bred them in captivity. How did that happen?
They went extinct in the wild, but they happen to have a few in captivity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they eventually released, I think, 4 into the wild for the first time, and who knows how long.
Now they're self-sufficient, self-sustaining.
That's what they say.
Every year, over 700 million people visit zoos. The proceeds collected can be used to support conservation efforts. According to the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, accredited institutions invest over $160 million annually towards field conservation to help save animals in the wild.
Let's talk about the bad.
Yeah. Animals in captivity start doing strange things, like pacing, like a bear will pace in a circle for hours on end.
Right.
Or a chimp might abuse himself. Or a
make the saints cry.
Cheetah might bathe itself too much, like self-groom, how cats do.
Yeah.
Like lick holes in their body and stuff.
Yeah, there's even worse stuff too. A guy named Bill Travers, who's an actor from the UK, who appropriately enough was in a movie called Born Free.
Oh yeah.
He was an animal rights activist as well, and in 1992, he coined the term zoochosis.
Yeah.
And it describes some pretty horrific behavior. Like you said, a lot of it is found in the wild as well, but it's just too repetitive. It's over and over and over again. It's constant.
Yeah.
Like animals groom in the wild, but they don't groom until they have sore spots on their skin.
Yeah.
There's other stuff that they don't normally do in the wild, like smear their feces on, the windows of their enclosures.
Right.
Self-mutilation, like chewing their own tail or leg.
Yeah.
There's a kind of bulimia that some primates exhibit in captivity, where they vomit, eat their vomit, and then vomit again, just over and over.
The Dallas Zoo, a gorilla named Jabari tried to escape by jumping over the walls and moats and was fatally shot by police.
Yeah.
Witness later reported that teenagers were taunting the animal with rocks prior to his escape.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So these little kids throwing rocks at this gorilla.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the gorilla escapes and the cops shoot it down.
Yeah, I remember.
This wouldn't happen if the gorilla was in the wild.
And also the I think 146 reintroduction programs took place in the 20th century.
Yeah.
16 were successful, and most of those programs were undertaken by the U.S. government. Elephants are used to traveling about 50 miles a day in large herds, and in captivity, they're standing around an enclosure all day,
alone, or with maybe a buddy or two.
Right. So they're very social, highly social animals that travel great distances.
And they found that the median lifespan of an African elephant in a zoo is 16.9 years. Do you know what it is on the open plain?
What?
56 years.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's quite a drop.